So there's some pretty funny COVID hijinks going on. This is not the most serious thing, but it just shows how petty everybody is. And to some degree, I kind of like it, in at least as far as Joe Biden's concerned. As many of you know, Joe Biden recently had COVID, and there were some on the right. We covered Allison Steinberg and some others who seemed sort of happy that Joe Biden had COVID. They weren't straight up saying, I hope he dies and doesn't recover, but they certainly seemed to be implying it. And yesterday, President Joe Biden returned to work officially, announced that he has tested negative for COVID. His isolation can now end and that it was mild all along.
Hello, everyone. I've just tested negative for COVID-19 after isolating for 5 days.
So those hoping for the demise of Joe Biden due to COVID, unfortunately, will be disappointed. But here's where it gets petty and kind of funny. Joe Biden brought up, this is just so funny. It's apropos of nothing. Biden contrasted his COVID case where it was mild. He didn't need oxygen. He didn't get helicoptered to Walter Reed for fears that he would soon be unable to walk under his own power. You might remember we later learned when Trump got COVID, suddenly there was this announcement, oh, he's being helicoptered to Walter Reed. What's going on? And we later learned that doctors and advisors came to him and with tears in their eyes, they said, sir, you might want to go to Walter Reed now because the way this is going, we may have to take you there in a stretcher at some point. And Trump didn't want the optics of that, so he flew to Walter Reed. And Biden just kind of made fun of Trump, for lack of a better term. That's really what he did here.
Here's the bottom line. When my predecessor got COVID, he had to get helicoptered to Walter Reed Medical Center. He was severely ill. Thankfully, he recovered. When I got COVID, I worked from upstairs of the White House, and the office is upstairs, and for that 5-day period. The difference is vaccinations, of course, but also 3 new tools, free to all and widely available. You don't need to be president to get these tools used for your defense.
Right.
Here's the bottom line.
The point here is really to talk about vaccines, right? The argument that Joe Biden is making is Trump wasn't vaccinated and he had a really serious case. I am vaccinated and I had a very mild case. Now, these are not really great arguments. There's a bunch of different things. Number one, Biden physically seems healthier than Trump. I mean, let's be honest. We know Trump's not really 6'3", 239. Trump is obese, eats very unhealthy diet generally. Okay, so that predisposes Trump to have a more serious case than Biden, first and foremost. Secondly, these are different variants, and I don't have the latest numbers as to whether BA.5, the current variant, in terms of hospitalization risk or whatever, and then you have to account for the fact that, yes, there could be a different hospitalization risk, but when vaccinated, what is the net likelihood of being hospitalized now versus back when Trump had? There's all of this different stuff. What's funny about it is Biden just wants to make the point that thanks to vaccines, he had a mild case compared to Trump's serious case. But the funny thing is that it comes off as, again, Trump just wants to be the alpha and the best and the strongest at absolutely everything. And it seems like Biden is kind of ribbing him. And you know that it triggers Trump very, very badly. Now, the third layer that's really funny is Sean Hannity then pops up out of nowhere to then run cover for Trump about, okay, Trump went to Walter Reed, but that was a much stronger strain. And again, this is all BS. It's all a penis size contest, but everybody's playing their role. And Hannity pops up as the Trump defender.
Biden had to evoke the uniter that he is, his favorite subject, Donald Trump. Take a look.
Here's the bottom line. When my predecessor got COVID, he had to get helicoptered to Walter Reed Medical Center. He was severely ill. Thankfully, he recovered. When I got COVID, I worked from upstairs of the White House, and the office is upstairs, and for that 5-day period. The difference is vaccinations, of course.
Now, what Joe failed to mention is the current variant, which is BA.5, the dominant variant of Omicron, is much, much weaker than the original strain that infected then President Trump.
Right. Don't think for a second that Biden is any better, stronger, smarter, faster, nicer, more intelligent, whatever, than Trump. Trump got hit with a hard variant, per virologist Sean Hannity, whereas Biden got a weak variant. and was vaccinated. I guess to some degree, Hannity is kind of saying that the vaccines work. So anyway, it's just all a pissing match. It really is. But something about it I found actually pretty funny. Joe Biden is back. We're all glad to see that.